My name is Michael O'Connell, and I'm a retired lieutenant from the New York City Fire Department. I want to personally thank Chairman Nadler, Ranking Member Collins, and the committee members for allowing me to be here today at this hearing to tell my story, which is really no different from the thousands of others who suffer from their heroic actions. Today, I can say thank you to the countless selfless heroes, volunteers, survivors, and those affected at the 3 terrorist sites because I get the best health care treatment, and I've been compensated by the September 11th Victims Compensation Fund. I was just a 25-year-old probationary firefighter on that beautiful Tuesday morning of the 11th, without a clue as to what was happening. I had just transferred from the NYPD in May of 2001, and was not even graduated from the FDNY Fire Academy on that horrific day. When the towers were struck, I was home on Long Island and immediately raced into Ladder 129 in Flushing, Queens, where I was doing my field training. Within minutes of my arrival, we started to respond to Lower Manhattan. During our response, we were notified of the collapse of the South Tower of the World Trade Center, and a fellow firefighter turned to me and said, "Do you realize how many guys we just lost?" The truth was, I didn't have a clue, but I would learn quickly. Upon arrival, we went to work right away in the war zone, later known as Ground Zero. We were given many tasks and tried our best to search for human life, but unfortunately, we weren't very successful. Countless hours we spent digging by hand. To this day, there is really only one memory etched into my brain, and one that still haunts me to this day and every night. As firefighters, we wear Scott packs that are equipped with pass alarms. Pass alarms are meant to go off when a firefighter is laid motionless, making a screeching sound so you can go find them. Well, for the first few minutes of our arrival and the countless hours that passed, that's all we heard. That was our brothers trapped beneath the pile of concrete and steel, and we cannot get to them. It is a difficult memory, but one that keeps me going. It reminds me that those men and women who gave their lives that day were selfless, and I try my best to live my life to that standard every day. In the midst of the chaos and loss of life, I can tell you that there's another thought that I had. I would not want to be anywhere else in the world at that moment. We were there to help, and I was part of something that showed the world that we would not back down to anyone. We helped bring closure to families that just wanted something tangible, some part that remained to bury. Now it is your turn. You were not there on the pile with us, but what you do in this moment is as important as what we did at Ground Zero. I had worked the pile for days and weeks that followed, with very little protection in the dust cloud, and I would later pay the ultimate price. The change came on January 1st of 2007 when I woke up and instantly knew something was wrong. I couldn't get out of bed, and it felt like somebody came into the room that night and beat me up with a baseball bat. My ankles, my legs, my feet were so swollen it made it difficult to even walk to the car to get to the doctor. I was put through a series of tests, and from what the doctors had seen, the prognosis did not look good. My wife, Rebecca, who was 6 months pregnant with our first child, was escorted to a conference room where a team of doctors waited for us to give us the news and told us that this looked like an advanced case of lymphoma and that I most likely didn't have much time to live. At this point, all I wanted to do was make it long enough to see the birth of my first child. It's obvious since I'm testifying here today, and by the grace of God, I'm able to be here to tell my story. I'm a proud father of 3 beautiful children named Aiden, Colton, and Alexandra, all of which witnessed their father battle 9/11 illnesses from the time they were born. I was very fortunate that the original prognosis was wrong, and I was actually diagnosed with a rare autoimmune disease called sarcoidosis. I was one of the youngest and first firefighters diagnosed with sarcoid, but hundreds more have been diagnosed since. I spent the next few months in recovery, and with the proper treatments, I was able to get back on my feet. Sadly, I cannot say that about others. My career in the FDNY that I was so passionate about was cut short, and 9/11 ensured I would be unable to continue as a full-duty firefighter as I was deemed disabled. I was on pace to advance through the FDNY as a senior officer, but I was unable to finish that dream of protecting the greatest city in the world. I ask you all respectfully, how is it fair that I was duly compensated, but others that are now sick and dying from their exposure will not be? It seems unfair that I was lucky enough to get sick, but lucky that I got sick early enough so that I could avoid potential cut, or worse, having no VCF as of December 2020. How is my family financially safe for a lifetime, but the families of those not diagnosed are left hanging. These people are getting sick 18 years later and are not going to receive the same benefits as those who got sick before them because they are unlucky to get sick at a time when the VCF is running out of funds. I speak today in tribute to the 343 firefighters, the 23 NYPD, and the 37 Port Authority police officers that didn't make it out on September 11, 2001, and to the thousands who are still sick and who are dying, and especially for my brother Ray Pfeiffer from the FDNY, who is no longer with us. I promised myself to keep fighting for my family and for those who are sick or have passed and yet to be compensated, because one day I might not be here to tell my story, but there will be someone else to follow and continue the tradition, a tradition that is rich in history and a tradition where no one is left behind. In closing, I have made countless trips to the Hill with the men and women who sit behind me. We came together to join forces on the Feel Good Foundation team from all walks of life: cops, firefighters, construction workers, correction officers, civilians, lawyers, students, widows, with one common goal. We are simply imploring this committee to extend and refund the VCF so that thousands of people across this great nation get the help that they deserve and they have earned. Thank you for your time today, Chairman, ranking members, and the committee. God bless you. God bless all those sitting behind me, and God bless America.
Thank you very much.